Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by B-Dubs, official chicken wing of the Big Dance. State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by AT&T 5G, fast, reliable, and secure.
It's the biggest dance of them all, and it rolls on from the Hoosier State basketball hotbed, and of course the birthplace of the legendary John Wooden. And the Wizard of Westwood's UCLA Bruins have made themselves right at home in Indiana. 2 wins and a date with a serious Cinderella, the Abilene Christian Wildcats. From the first 4, and now a chance to the Sweet 16 for UCLA. Abilene Christian taking down a Goliath in the Texas Longhorns as a 14 seed to earn their way here. Hi, everybody. Great to have you with us. Brian Anderson, along with the All-American Jim Jackson. So looking forward to this matchup, Jim, and you could not have polar opposite programs than ACU and UCLA.
Well, ACU, the true definition of a Cinderella here by their defense, and UCLA trying to restore some of that old glory under the tutelage of Mick Cronin.
Coming out of the first 4 be Michigan State. Johnny Juzang's had a great run for UCLA. It's Campbell, Jaquez, Juzang, Bernard, and Riley. And then for Abilene Christian, Damian Daniels, Corian Mason, Reggie Miller, Joe Pleasant, who hit the key free throws to secure the win on Saturday, and Colton Cole, the 7-footer. Those are our Wendy's starting lineups. UCLA in the home whites. They never expected to break out the white uniforms at this point as an 11 seed. But here they are taking on the 14 seed and Abilene Christian. And Jimmy mentioned this ACU program just started 8 years ago, and they really didn't have the full Division I program as far as scholarships, as far as personnel and staff, until 4 years ago, and yet here they are. It's one of the most improbable NCAA tournament stories we've had in a long time.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Coach Joe Golding say that they just got their full-time strength and conditioning coach last year or this year?
Just a couple of years.
I think so.
And here they are.
Yes.
From the plains of West Texas. UCLA at Abilene Christian underway. ACU controls the first possession. And right away, getting up the first shot, Corian Mason, he is fouled. So a foul on the first possession on a 3-point shot. Jules Bernard fouling the shooter. So let me ask you this right off the bat here with free throws coming. Jimmy, does Abilene Christian have staying power? It's a good story, and it was an amazing win over Texas. The way they play, especially on defense, do they have staying power to have a chance here to go to the Sweet 16?
Defensively, yes. 52 points they held Texas to 20-plus turnovers. The challenge they have is putting the ball in the basket. That's the challenge in this aspect. Defense does travel, but at some point you still have to be able to crack that 65-point barrier against some of the better teams as you advance in the tournament.
Corian Mason playing with a broken nose. He wore a face mask to start the game Saturday, ditched that quickly, and he makes all 3 free throws. And that's how this game begins. Both benches are up. The Abilene Christian bench basically is a set of cheerleaders over there. They've got the chants going the whole bit. They're bringing their own energy to the party. UCLA fully in this tournament now after going through the first 4 and winning 2 games here in Indiana. And that's going to be a trip. That is Reggie Miller, number 10 in purple. That's right, Reggie Miller, no relation to the man whose number and banner hangs up in the rafters at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, which is where we are tonight. He says he gets it all the time, though. For now, then the rest of the game, he'll be known as the other Reggie Miller. Of course, he went to UCLA as well. That's a good hit. And Johnny Juzang picks up right where he left off. He's been a scoring machine in the first 2 games of this tournament.
Be very important for UCLA first 3 to 5 minutes. Identify the rotations, gauge the speed of those rotations, and then plan out how you're going to attack it. Right there, Juzang able to get to the baseline and hit that early pull-up jump shot.
Pleasant runs with a wall, and Jaquez had such a great night in the first 4. Shot clock down to 3, and the little turnaround. Can't get the bounce. Cody Riley with a rebound. UCLA is a possession-oriented kind of team, Jimmy. Do they have to go out of their offense a little bit playing against Abilene Christian in the way they defend?
No, actually, they can utilize their patience against the rotating defense to force this Abilene Christian team to expend a lot of energy. Not that they're not accustomed to it, but when you're more patient, now you can be able to get some shots that typically you may not be able to get against a scrambling defense.
Daniels with the rebound. Reggie Miller at the controls. Tiger Campbell on him. Here is Daniels at 5'7", the point guard. What a great game he had. What a lead for the 7-footer. Good action there for Abilene Christian. And Colton Cole jams it through for the Wildcats. And an early lead for Joe Golding here.
And that's what you want. You get yourself to a free throw line early. For Abilene Christian, 3 points. Then drop a nice little dime inside the paint.
Bruins came into this tournament having dropped 4 in a row. As Riley with the left hand scores it, and a foul, and one opportunity. Cody Riley with a strong hand.
Well, you talked about the 5'7" spark plug. Damian Daniels inside. Cole able to get the dunk, and then off a middle pick and roll, the rotation just a little bit late. Riley able to lay it in.
Riley averaging double figures this year. Cole's going to go to the bench. They play a lot of guys as Abilene Christian. Clay Gaiman on the floor for the first time. So the 42, Riley can't convert the three-point play, and Gaiman is in the book with a rebound.
How about this? None of their Abilene Christian players average over 30 minutes a game. That's to ensure that you have enough energy mentally and physically to keep up this high-pace, high-intensity defense without any drop-off.
Pleasant fouled on his way in. All these fouls for UCLA, this only plays in the hands of Abilene Christian. If they can get points at the line, you get yourself into the bonus. Makai Morris will enter.
And it's a catch-22 there. You do want to get in the penalty early, but this Abilene Christian team only shoots about 67% from the free throw line. So the question is, if they do, or when they do get to the free throw line, are they really able to capitalize off of it? We'll see.
Left-handed finish, nicely done. Corian Mason got a quick 5 out of the gates. So Arion Simmons in the game for Abilene Christian. Jalen Clark enters for Riley for UCLA. Jaime Jaquez. He has so many moves in the block. Hung with him well. There's Clark. Oh, and ripped away from behind. That's going to be a held ball. Excellent play by Arion Simmons. Possession arrow belongs to UCLA. Give me that.
On their face. Ooh, I had it. That's what his face said.
He's something. He is a big man. He's 6'5", 265. He's the closest thing we have to Charles Barkley in this tournament, let's say. I know Charles is watching. He's got some skills, though. Give it up a little bit of height.
Way better athlete than Charles.
Tiger Campbell, a little pull-up. Nicely done.
Hey, you know, that's a big basket, too, for Tiger Campbell. Doesn't seem like a lot, but he's been struggling from behind the three-point line. But just to get that early basket, it's important.
Makai Morris misses a 3. Clark with the rebound, ripping it out of the hands of Simmons. Campbell with 7 points against BYU. Michigan State and BYU, the first 2 opponents for UCLA. That is smooth as it gets. Jules Bernard has been an excellent three-point shooter this year. He's a guy that can get hot and carry this UCLA team.
Yep, a great third wheel to have with Juzang and Jaquez.
So a whistle, going to be a foul. Take us to our first timeout. Off and running here.
Well, UCLA early, kind of getting adjusted to this defense. Bernard for 2, up 1.
Welcome back to Bankers Life Fieldhouse. UCLA up 8-7 over ACU. Ever since Coach Golding took over this Wildcat program 10 seasons ago, he's been trying to create visibility as they make a name for themselves in Division I basketball. And he's done so with the most unique defense in the NCAA tournament. Coach Cronin went as far as saying it's organized crazy. Coach Golding shared with us that he took defensive principles from Danny Casper at Stephen F. Austin and Steve Shields at Little Rock and mixed them together with his own little twist. Coach Cronin said he's never seen anything like it. And when you get a chance to get a shot up, you can't turn it down. This defense won't let you live if you don't.
No, it's that havoc style. It created an identity there. It said they felt like they needed one. Something to hang their hat on, give reasons. So when you go on recruiting trips, he gives a lot of credit to Brett Tanner as well, his defensive coach. Shot clock gets low coming out of this timeout, and a hang and a finish by Reggie Miller. Nicely done.
Well, early in this game, too, the points in the paint are critical in these layups for ACU because they're not a prolific three-point shooting team. So now they're finding early success against this UCLA defense by getting inside.
Juzang steps inside. That move right there, that's the kind of shot that Mick Cronin wants to see. He wants to see these step-ins, quick decisions. Because of the way Abilene Christian closes out. Three-pointer is true. That's another one down for Corian Mason. Mason with 8 points. His first made three. He's had the shooter's touch, playing with a broken nose. He broke that nose in the Southland Conference tournament against Nicholls State. Clark, nice feed. Campbell springs free but blows the layup.
Yeah. Took his eye off the prize, so to speak.
And a travel. Mason knew it. How about this stroke, Jim?
Well, how about the patience? Come off, give yourself some space. A little miscommunication defensively by UCLA. And Mason's like, yeah. It's amazing how confidence travels, too. Having that win against Texas, now you relaxed a little bit more. Playing extremely well to start this game, BA.
Substitutions coming in waves. Joe Golding has Tobias Cameron on the floor for the first time. Brings his 7-footer Colton Cole back on. Cody Riley re-enters. And Nick Cronin answering with a shooter as well, and Jake Kyman. Riley gets stuck, looking for help. Campbell, he'll pull it. Long two, tough shot. Cash money for Tiger Campbell.
Now, see, that's ironic. He missed the easy layup, the bunny, and a high arching shot, hand in the face, able to make.
Riley, interception, turnover, Abilene Christian. 2-point game, UCLA with the ball. Down a pair, this ACU team is a 14 seed. Back-to-back turnovers, however. And now UCLA can take the lead here. Jaquez, strong inside.
Strong, but how about the awareness, knowing that Colton Cole was just about to slide over. Saw him out of his peripheral vision, hesitated, knocked it in.
Jaquez plays high volume minutes. He is an excellent player, just a sophomore. Doesn't get the headlines like the Johnny Juzangs of the world, Jules Bernard. They scored the points. Coming up short, Daniels. For UCLA, all 5 starters have already put an entry into the scorebook. They've all scored. Campbell has 4 points. And now Kyman got it. Got one of the purest strokes going in the Pac-12. This could be his kind of game here today. Bit of a secret weapon shooter for them. 6-0 run for UCLA, 1 and done on the other end. Bruins in the lead. Juzang, no. Riley gets the board, and Riley scores it, and 1. Cody Riley outworking his defender. Got a chance at a 3-point play.
Well, I think it plays in the hand of UCLA. You always talk about, the different fighting styles in the boxing match matters. Where with UCLA playing more methodical on the offensive end and not extremely fast, this can be a perfect matchup for them because they're accustomed to slowing things down, which hence will slow down the defense of the Wildcats. And right now finding early success with that patience for UCLA.
UCLA really protecting the ball well as well. They only have 6 turnovers. After they had 6 turnovers the opening 11 minutes of their first game against Michigan State. No turnovers thus far today. Mason can't score it. Riley clears the rebound. Here's Jaquez. Jaquez with Pleasant on him, gives it up. UCLA will get into their offense now. And Riley to spin and a foul. Got him across the wrist. Colton Cole with the foul. And a timeout on the floor. Good action early. UCLA by 4. Their possession. 14-11 matchup here for a trip to the Sweet 16. Our tournament summary: Oregon right here on this floor advancing to the Sweet 16. Took down Iowa 4-time in the last 5 trips to the tournament. Oregon and Dana Altman moving on. Big Ten's been a struggle. Jim Jackson, Mr. Ohio State.
Really?
They lost the last 4.
Really?
2 seeds are gone, Iowa and Ohio State. And how about the Pac-12? 7-0, all 5 teams still alive, UCLA included. Hey, a reminder, unbelievably delicious Coca-Cola vanilla. Vanilla is hard to describe, but in a good way.
Well, let me describe something to you. I'm an unbiased commentator here. And so those little shots about the Big Ten and, you know, it's unnecessary. Then Allie was killing me on Ohio State because she got one up. It's totally unnecessary right now.
Allie, talented point guard at Ohio. The Bobcats playing today. A 30-30-30 player was Allie LaForce. Is that right, Allie?
30-30-30, that was my line. And if you don't know what it is, that's good. That's a good thing. If we were up 30 or down 30, I got in for 30 seconds.
That's right. 30-30-30. 16-12 UCLA in the lead. Abilene Christian dodging one there from Cody Riley. Missed free throws. Free throws have been a problem for UCLA. Inside, Pleasant, and he walked. Abilene Christian with another turnover. That is their first for Joe Pleasant, who hit those clutch free throws. His only 2 free throws of the game. And it was to tie and to take the lead against the Texas Longhorns. He'll never have 2 bigger free throws the rest of his life.
And notice too in this trap, when they fall back into man-to-man, there's either Arian Simmons or Joe Pleasant right there at the front. Try to give a little size in there. Not understanding where it's at. But early in the game, look, UCLA doing an outstanding job of maintaining the spacing here. A little pick and roll. Cody Riley is there, but watch this. The late rotation by Pleasant is because Jaquez maintains the space in the corner. And on the switch, now you got more room to work because unlike Texas that had more bigs that were around the block, converged the space, UCLA wide open, able to take advantage of it.
I mean, that's a great point. And if you're wondering why Cole has been in and out of the rotation here, and they've gone with Simmons a little more, that's exactly why. There's not as much traffic inside. Flurry of moves. Mason off to the left, and there's Riley with a rebound. Riley's controlling the boards right now. Riley already with 5 rebounds, one of those an offensive board. Jaquez got a mismatch, unable to score it. Mason stood his ground. On the fly here is Daniels, kicks it. And now ACU will get it organized. They beat Texas. They scored 53 points, Jimmy. Incredible. Not only could you win a game at that total against the Longhorns, but also shoot under 30% from three-point range.
Right.
And they still won.
Right. If you'd have gave those statistics out about the shooting percentages and the scores, no way you would have thought ACU would even be close in the game. But because they forced so many turnovers and got 27 more shots. Speaking about shots, Kane talked about that beautiful stroke. And the poise and the patience, the flow, but the ease in which UCLA right now is operating is why they're able to be up by 7 early.
So interesting what Mick Cronin is doing here with Kamen in the lineup as Pleasant fires one off the backboard and into the hands of Bernard. Jaquez kept it alive. There's so much Cronin can do with his roster with Abilene Christian. He's kind of forced them to go small with him, which means he can have Kamen guard the post on defense as Bernard misses the 3. Miller with a rebound. ACU wants to push it. And there goes Miller all the way in. Can't get the bounce. And UCLA will secure it. David Singleton with a rebound. ACU started 4 of 6. They've missed their last 7 now. UCLA making Abilene Christian play a lot of defense here. It gets down to 4 to 3. Jaquez, little turnaround, no. Miller another rebound.
Yeah, but nice little isolation for Jaquez Jr. right there at the free throw line. Gives you more space to operate. Harder to kind of come in and double team a little bit. Jaquez just not able to knock that one in.
Miller runs into the trees, kicks it. Pleasant for 3. Singleton clears the board. It's been the one and done for Abilene Christian the last few trips down. No offensive rebounds yet for the Wildcats. Going to be an area of concern, especially if they're going to play quote-unquote small without Colton Cole on the floor. Going to be a whistle on ACU. And they'll get Simmons on the call. Hey, scan this code right now to watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. You can watch now, NCAA.com/March Madness, or download the app today. Joe Golding, former ACU point guard, back in their D2 days, took over this program, brought him into the Division I level. Steve Shields, his mentor at Arkansas Little Rock. There's a three-pointer down for Kyman. 8 points for Kyman, his second made 3. He's 3 for 3 in this one. Had a chance to hide him on defense. He could be a huge offensive weapon as Pleasant gets in close, can't score it. Too many UCLA bodies in there.
Yeah, but early, you remember, a couple early 2 to 3 layups that ACU was able to knock in, but now finding it hard to get the ball in the rim. Good interior defense by the Bruins.
Nice spin, Clark able to score. That's a 16-0 UCLA run. They were down 12-8. 16-0 is the march for the UCLA Bruins.
I'm Adam Zucker back in New York with the Geico Game Break. Undefeated Gonzaga into the Sweet 16 for a 6th straight tournament after beating Oklahoma by 16. Drew Timme a career-high 30 points, 6 offensive rebounds. And the fresh wings of the Oregon Ducks. Too fast for Iowa. Chris Duarte flying through. He had 23. Luka Garza, 36 in his college finale. Back to BA, Jim, and Allie.
Welcome back, everybody. ACU down 12. That's the largest deficit of the game so far. Coach Golding just moments ago telling his team in the huddle during the timeout, move the ball. You have to make the extra pass. It's not about you. Average 18 a game. So they're forcing tough twos, guys, but they're just not scoring.
Yeah, and 3 turnovers as well. Brett Tanner, who handles the Abilene Christian defense, trying to unlock this puzzle here against UCLA to start it. A scoring drought over nearly 8 minutes for Abilene Christian. They've missed their last 9 shots. And a substitution to try to change that, but the Bruins stand tough defensively. Kyman, he's already got 8. Finds Singleton, shooter to shooter. And look at that rebound, a standing rebound there by Clark. Goes up strong and finishes. Well, they're getting some mismatches inside.
Yeah, and Reggie Miller was there, boxed him out, did his job, but height won on that occasion. Clark able to gobble it up and put it back up quickly for 2.
This is a blitz by UCLA. They're on an 18-0 run. ACU led 12-8 when this run started, and another miss. Abilene Christian cannot find the basket right now. And Joe Golding got his big man queued up, ready to enter this game. Next offensive possession. Good ball movement. Kyman looking for Riley. Double team, kick it. They don't want to leave that guy open. A bad pass. And a turnover for UCLA, their second.
Well, just be solid defensively. Look, 3 UCLA players around, but then the discipline to stay straight up. And then one-on-one, defense, ACU finding a little bit hard to put the ball in the basket.
(26-12) our score. UCLA out in front of Abilene Christian. And an 18-0 run that has covered 8 minutes and 26 seconds. And watching Mick Cronin kind of unveil the game plan here, it's been fascinating. They found some holes with Abilene Christian. He talked to us about watching ACU against Texas. And the one thing he kept mentioning to us, arrogance will get you beat. And that's one thing he expressed to his team. And they've come out playing very well. Take a quick break. 6:07 remaining in this first half. So look at our game summary. UCLA on this 18-0 run covers 8.5 minutes and shooting well from the field. They're up near 55%. They're 2 for 5 from three-point range, and they lead at 26-12. Jimmy, if you're Abilene Christian, it's your ball here. Colton Cole back on the floor, the 7-footer. Where do you go for offense at this point? Got to have something.
You got to try to find Cole. Try to get something easy, if not a kick out for three, but more importantly, get the ball through the nets, because then it allows you to set up your full court press right there.
Yeah, good call, Jim. Yep. Cole right into the mix. That snaps 11 concessions for Abilene Christian. They have not scored since the 15:01 mark.
Well, notice too, out of the timeout, that was a quick hitting play. Quick reactive. UCLA a little slow to the rotations. It's a great call in the timeout by Coach Golden.
That was a 9-minute drought. And late clock here. Now Abilene Christian with a little pep in the step. Campbell, tough three, rattles in and out. That was halfway down, and that'll be Abilene Christian ball.
All right, two things accomplished. One, you got the score you wanted. Coach Golden, now you got a defensive stop back on offense. Let's see if they go back to the well in regards to using Colton Cole in that middle pick and roll to get something quick going to the basket. Again, you may attract some defense from the weak side and maybe have a skip pass for a jump shot.
You need stops now. So Kyman is out. You got Juzang and Bernard back on the floor. And it's going to be a UCLA foul. Tiger Campbell. Hey, don't forget, first round coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship continues today on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPNU. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com.
Got my eye on South Carolina.
Okay.
Personal reasons, too. Point guard Zaya Cook from Toledo.
Stanford out of Pac-12. A force. In the corner. And stepped on the baseline again. Makai Morris. No room to operate over there. And it's another ACU turnover, number 4.
Yeah, and the margin for error for this Wildcats team is that you can't have those empty possessions. The turnovers that don't allow you to get shots. And I know coaches don't like bad shots, but you'd rather get a shot up at the rim or a chance to get an offensive rebound than to turn it over.
Here's Bernard. And Cole pulls down the board. Abilene Christian looks a little more settled with their 7-footer on the floor.
Right.
Daniels falls down, keeps his dribble, little curly kneel action, and Cole can't hit. Johnny Juzang coming off 27 against BYU, averaging 25 in the first 2 games. No. And Miller comes out of there with a rebound, kept his dribble going. He's going to run the attack. Reggie Miller gives it up. Good hands by Juzang. Miller, tough shot, bounce, got it.
Hey, you stay with it. The ball got tipped inside and came right back to him, and he had the patience and awareness of mind to know that Riley was right there, took his time, and knocked in 2.
Reggie Miller had 7 against the Longhorns. Senior leader, first on the team in steals, and he's hounding Tiger Campbell right now. Campbell almost got away with a walk. Juzang missed a 3. Daniels the board, lost the dribble. Cole on the ground, and that's going to be, what's the call here? You got a foul? Looks like Clark is raising his hands in question. Still no. There we go. It is going to be a foul. It just
No, it's a
Yeah,
foul.
they called it on Jalen Clark. So a UCLA foul, Abilene Christian ball when we continue.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Allstate. You've never been in better hands. Coca-Cola Orange Vanilla, unbelievably delicious. And by Uber Eats. Tonight, I'll be eating my favorite game day foods.
It will be Abilene Christian ball. They called a foul here, Jimmy, on Jalen Clark.
Well, it was James Breeding from the baseline that made the call when you had two officials at half court. I think it's a jump ball. Breeding, I guess he felt that Clark pushed Cole in the back, but I don't think that was the case. That should have just been a jump ball.
Clark is out. That scrum on the floor, you saw Clark's knee go right down on the hand of Colton Cole. First team all Southland Conference. Abilene Christian's going to be going into the WAC in the fall. There last year in the Southland. Won the conference tournament. It's a one big lead. And here they are in the NCAA tournament and their first ever win in program history. A date with UCLA.
See Coach Joe Golden going a little bit bigger for Abilene with having two. With Simmons and also Pleasant coming back in the game. Probably trying to preserve a little bit of foul trouble.
Here's Reggie Miller. ACU needing a conversion here. And the lefty, Daniels, knocks down a big three. Damian Daniels brings Abilene Christian within 7. This is a 7-0 run for ACU. Simmons out there with Juzang. Boy, you talk about a mismatch. Juzang has him spread out, looking for help. Juzang trying to get around the big man at a foul.
Quick swing. Don't think about it. Daniels left open. Singleton late on the closeout. Let's go. He's fired up. Get this lead under 10.
Nick Cronin talked about it. He knows it well. And you start looking at mid-majors and teams like Abilene Christian. Every one of these players for ACU has a story. They've been overlooked. They have been disrespected on some level, and now they're here and believe they're going to put up a fight. And they have been able to rally back with a 7-0 run. Down 7. Jaquez steps into one. In and out it goes. Bernard with a rebound, but had it stripped away. That was Mason. Now Miller out of the pack. Corian Mason had his pass deflected. Fortunate to get it back. Yeah, every step, UCLA right with. Gaiman misses a 3. Oh, excellent
Right hustle.
Could have been a hook and hold there on Riley. Ball on the floor. Look who comes out of the pack with it. Daniels might have been blocked by Jaime Jaquez. The bodies everywhere, Jimmy.
Hey, listen. Every possession is so important, so critical.
And offensive foul. Clay Gaiman takes the charge.
Slides right in. That outstretched arm by Riley. Gaiman said, listen, I hit the floor, but it was worth it.
And Riley with 2 fouls will exit with 2 turnovers as well. UCLA now 3 turnovers. They protected the ball so well. Had just 1 turnover in about a 20-minute stretch from the BYU game to start this game. Pleasant, guarded by Campbell. Now Daniel on the take. Oh my goodness, found some room somehow. Gaiman had it knocked away. Bodies on the floor again. Pleasant, foul, offensive. UCLA ball.
Jaquez knew he would be able to get in position, and watch how he sets his feet. He's going to prepare for this contact, and he does a little acting on that. Hollywood style.
You called on one end, it's got to go the other. That's very similar to what we saw with Gaiman.
Yep.
UCLA has been shut out the last 5.5 minutes.
Not the same kind of shots when they were getting to the middle of the court as we saw when they built that big lead.
Juzang steps into one. Catch and shoot for Johnny Juzang.
All set up. Like Jaquez getting a little deep post-up penetration. Able to kick it right out.
On the take, Mason. Jaquez disrupted that shot. Here come the Bruins. And Jaquez got a mismatch here if he wants it. And Reggie Miller on. This is a no contest right here. And Jaquez scores easily.
Guess what? Back to the middle. Got right back to the middle of the court. Jaquez patient. Able to get that big body down the lane.
Cannot overstate either how much a game like the one Abilene Christian played against Texas takes out of your legs, takes out of you. You're in this tournament, you get 1 day off, but a full day of preparation, and now you're right back in a late afternoon start here in Indianapolis. Daniels, and he's touched by Campbell. Tiger Campbell with the foul, his second. So you got Riley with 2, Tiger Campbell with 2. Abilene Christian in the bonus. And a 1-and-1 scenario coming up.
And you know, for UCLA too, you don't change really your offense. You just fine-tune it a little bit to exploit maybe some of the weaknesses within the Wildcats defense, and that's what we've seen in this first half by UCLA.
Hey, a reminder, the Bleacher Report app is home to all the action from around the tournament. Find your community by following your teams. You can fan easier, fan faster, fan better. Download the Bleacher Report app today. 2 for 2 for Damian Daniels. He is an excellent finisher, but he is having a tough time against the UCLA defense. There's a lot of traffic in there. So Daniels will sit, 5 points, 1 of 4 shooting, did knock down a big 3. It's a 10-point game. UCLA in the lead with the ball. Shot clock is off. Miller checks Campbell. Jaquez, and it's blocked. Simmons closing out well. Chance at the last one here. Reggie Miller can't get it off the glass. That'll take us to the half. 31-21. Excellent defensive play by the big man.
Well, got something to feel good about. You got the lead cut back down to 10. Feel good. Then you finish it off with an outstanding defense by getting the block shot.
Coming up, AT&T at the half. We'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, scores, and highlights of all the other games going on. We're in the second round. That's all coming up. AT&T at the half. Bruins by 10. Second round on this Monday afternoon in Indianapolis.
Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament is sponsored by Lowe's, official corporate partner of the NCAA. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Experian Boost. And by Nissan, official partner of March Madness.
Road to the Final Four started and will end right here in the great state of Indiana. 10-point UCLA lead. They lead Abilene Christian at the half. Just about ready for half number 2. Brian Anderson along with Jim Jackson and our Nissan drive of the game. Where are you taking us here, Jimmy?
Well, just a simple game plan of UCLA. Keep the court spread. Take advantage of the opportunities. They don't try to do anything fancy. Simple pick and roll here. And now you just spot up, knocking the jump shot. Jake Kamen able to get in the middle of the lane. All right, now you isolate again right in the middle. Again, the middle is the key. You keep the court spread, you open it up. Now your one-on-one players can get downhill with less traffic, able to convert inside the paint.
Our Emmy Award-winning reporter, Allie LaForce, doing some digging at halftime. What'd you come up with?
You're too kind, Brian. Well, for ACU, Reggie Miller, very vocal before Coach Golding even hopped in with a comment. He said, we need to keep being ourselves. Guys, we're still in this. Coach Golding then telling the team, we need more movement on offense. I don't think we were us for most of that first half. Continue to fight and get back to who we are, and we can win this thing. For UCLA, they're really happy overall with the shot selection. He said it's not going to be perfect, but we're getting shots off. That's what's key.
So on point with Reggie Miller's assessment, because early in the game when they had quick movement, the court was spread a little bit more, Brian, they were able to finish without having a lot of traffic. Once they slowed down, the height of UCLA just came into play.
Abilene Christian opening possession here of the second half. Starters on the floor once again, and that's going to be Daniels missing a three. Last touch by Pleasant, and UCLA ball.
Not the shot I don't think Coach Golding planned for coming out the timeout.
Joe Golding mentioned his ties to Steve Shields, his mentor. He was an assistant under Shields at Arkansas Little Rock. Very close friends with Chris Beard of Texas Tech. As Jaquez misses in close. Here come the Wildcats. At points in transition, something they hope for but have had a tough time getting here. They're not a team that runs well. They're challenged offensively, but because they're so good defensively and force so many turnovers, they do usually get some easy buckets. They get nothing but tough shots for the most part here tonight. That was another one.
And that's a great point, Brian, because one, UCLA is not turning the ball over, especially live ball turnovers that leads to fast breaks. And then UCLA is not taking tough, long shots that produce long rebounds. Now the Wildcats can just get it and go.
Jules Bernard, patient, gives it. Riley, easy. Joe Golding looking for answers here, and he's going to go back to Arian Simmons, who makes his way to the scorer's table. Cole, no. One and done for ACU.
UCLA using the aggressive defensive tactics of ACU against them that time. It was Colton Cole inside, kind of inching up off the baseline to help. Cody Riley able to sneak right behind him.
Thought Andy Katz made a great point during the halftime show, talking about UCLA and how they've kind of had to change the way they play as Riley misses. So they lost Chris Smith, who is one of their best players, second leading scorer this year, a big man at 6'9". They also lost Jalen Hill, who is away from the team for personal reasons. They lost both of their bigs, and it took them a while to get their footing and learn how to play in this small lineup. And obviously Chris Smith makes a huge impact on any team, and it's disappointing that he can't play in the NCAA tournament. But this is a free-flowing offense that Mick Cronin has together now. He hangs his hat on defense, but this is an offense that moves pretty well when they're clicking.
Well, the blessing was the timing of when those events occurred early enough to give UCLA to kind of reestablish who they were ultimately going to be without those players.
Jaquez with a block underneath. Singleton kicks it. Jaquez always makes the smart pass. Extra pass. Cash. Johnny Juzang for three. Quick 5-0 spurt here for UCLA. 36-21. 10-point lead at the half. Desperate for offense is ACU, going with their big man Simmons, and gives it up. Again, he's only 6'5". He's given up some size. Going to be a foul on Arian Simmons.
Well, we talked so much about the Wildcats defense, but how about UCLA? Jaquez with the block, dribble, drive, swing it, three-ball side pocket.
UCLA in that first four matchup with Michigan State. There's so much history involved in that game. UCLA playing at Mackey Arena on the campus of Purdue University. John Wooden, of course, played at Purdue, the Wizard of Westwood. And I think Mick Cronin was actually, you don't want to be in that first four game. You want to try to avoid that. But that game helped them, and they beat Michigan State. They've got a lot of rhythm going now. And they look like a free-flowing offense here. Singleton. Oh, they get a second chance. Singleton with a three-pointer. Timeout on the floor. Joe Golding at ACU. UCLA on a run to start this second half. It's an 8-0 sprint, and they're up 18. UCLA shut them out here in this second half. Don't forget, you can scan this code right now. Watch live games on your computer, phone, or tablet, or streaming device. NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now, ncaa.com/March Madness. There you see the first four to advance at least to the Sweet 16, first four to Final Four. Shaka Smart, VCU. LaSalle did it 2 years later, and then the year after that, Tennessee went to the Sweet 16. Syracuse, the last to do it, 2018. That is what UCLA is trying to accomplish. First four to Sweet 16. They've become the fifth to do it, Jim.
Well, maybe they didn't see themselves as a first four team. But think about this. They came in losing 4 in a row. In those games, they had the lead and gave it up. So playing Michigan State, coming from behind, see a move inside by Pleasant. Coming from behind and then securing that victory late allowed them to have the confidence they needed, that stimulus, that boost mentally that they can get it done. That has propelled them to how they're playing right now. So they had to walk that path to figure out who they were as a team, that they could be successful and that Coach Cronin's game plan could work. And now look where they're at. Have a chance to reach the Sweet 16.
And then the thing that had bit them the most, those leads, those halftime leads that they lost, they turned that around against BYU. Jumped out to a 13-point first half lead. They never trailed and took down number 6 BYU. Juzang scored 27 in that game. Going up top, Riley on the receiving end from Singleton. And Miller putting up a prayer, hits the deck hard. Let's check in with Allie LaForce. What do you have, Allie? Beg your pardon. Going to break. We'll check with Allie in a moment. She's standing by. She's talking. Her mic's not open. Hold that thought, Allie.
Welcome back to Indianapolis. UCLA up 41-22 over ACU. No one more happy than Hep Cronin, father of UCLA head coach Mick Cronin. That's also his daughter Sammy and his brother Dan. It's a full family affair. The family grew up on the west side of Cincinnati, not far from here. You know, Mick was one of 3 children, along with his brother Dan, who you saw there, his sister Kelly, and his dad was a high school coaching legend with more than 400 career wins in Cincinnati. He taught him everything he knew. He hasn't gotten to see him in over a year. That was leading up until this NCAA tournament and the Michigan State game because of COVID and cancellations to the Pac-12 tournament, but they were able to reunite, and he is here cheering him on.
Yeah, we can't get through a Zoom call with Mick between you and Allie and Jimmy and all that Ohio talk.
Don't hate. Don't hate. It's totally unnecessary. You're better than that, BA. You're better than that.
Haka is fouled on his way in. Well, it's amazing what a couple of wins will do for you in the NCAA tournament. And the Cronins, I had a chance to talk to Hep at Mackey Arena from a distance after the game, and he's so happy. You know, they were unable to see each other. Allie gave us that report on Thursday at the first four, but that really hurts. Mick is a guy that wants his family around him, wants his father around him. He's on the buses, he's at practice, they talk ball all the time. And to go a year, and like so many of you out there that have been separated from your family members, it's been a really challenging year for Mick Cronin and his family.
Hey, but guess what? What a way to be reunited with an opportunity to take this team to a Final Four. And this year, everything being here in Indy lends itself to less travel. Now he's able to hang out and support his son.
UCLA by 21. 5 minutes into this second half, had a 10-point lead at the half, and Johnny Juzang keeps it rolling. Johnny Juzang went to Kentucky as a freshman, transferred his first year at UCLA, impact player for the Bruins. ACU running out of options here. That's a good hit. They needed that. Mekhi Morris with a three-pointer. His first basket of the game in this second round.
It's such a contrast. If you know, you saw the Texas game, everything seemed rushed for Texas. Complete opposite here with UCLA in regards to their patience, like that right there. Just so simple, methodical, picking apart the defense and basically getting the shots they want and not what the Wildcat defense will dictate.
Riley volleyballs it into the hands of Jaquez. Well prepared, you can tell. I mean, it's only one day of preparation, but this UCLA team ready for the fight that ACU brought to the Texas Longhorns.
Yep.
And going to get a whistle here. Foul's going to be on Cameron.
You always talk about constant movement on the defensive end, but offensively too. That time, Juzang caught his defender sleeping. To get back door. Jaquez with a nice dime. Real simple offense, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, middle of the floor, really, that was a key point early. You saw what they were trying to do is create some space. And the middle of the floor has worked well. 2 long droughts by ACU. Missing 11 shots twice. 1 in the first half, 1 here in the second half. 3 ball is up. Cameron can't get it to go. That was maybe the last card, the last ace in the hole, if you will, for Joe Golding to see if he could get a spark off the bench. Tobias Cameron from the 3-point arc. Singleton for 3. Mason with the rebound. He'll push it. Mason gives it up. And good defense by UCLA. Excellent getting back to the transition. Jaquez just plows Mason out of bounds. That'll be a foul on Jaime Jaquez. Hey, the Big Red Balls are back, Jimmy. John Cena, Nicole Byer. They host a brand new episode of Wipeout on TBS. Don't miss an all-new season on a whole new network, April 1st on TBS.
I would pay any amount of money to see you on there.
Come on, man.
Especially up top when one of those things just slam you and hit you.
Tell you what,
no?
I'll do that. You go floating down the river with me in West Texas. How about that?
Come on, right up my alley with a cigar. Oh, that's easy money. Oh, that's what?
Let you see
tranquility.
Let you see a mama water moccasin once, and then that's it. You're done.
Man,
you didn't know that was part of it.
I didn't know that. You said just sailing down. You didn't say nothing
float.
about that.
That's all part of the floating experience, Jimmy.
The moccasin can't get in the boat, can he? Oh, he can't? Huh?
You'd be surprised.
It's a setup, bro. It's a setup. Not gonna let it happen.
Tobias Cameron. Yeah, we hit the air talking about the contrast between these two programs, and Abilene Christian, just a baby Division I team. This is just their 8th year, but really their 4th year when they've had the full complement of staff, of scholarships. It's just an incredible run that they're still alive. First that they made it here, they're still alive, winning a game against Texas, who is a giant. Not only in the state, but in basketball for all of those Texas schools to play.
Yeah, but think now of the recruiting. Again, excellent passing and movement right there by UCLA, so they get a shot out of it.
There goes Jalen Clark. And unable to connect, but a foul. We got free throws coming back. UCLA in control. A nice little stroll here in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
Adam Zucker back in New York with this tournament update. Creighton trying to reach the regional semis for the first time since 1974. Mitch Ballack back to Christian Bishop. It's a 13-3 run and a 7-point lead. Joe Burrow and his dad are at the game, and Allie LaForce is there in spirit.
You know she is, Adam. She is split-minded right now for sure. What a great story that has been. Ohio Bobcats taking on Creighton. 47-25. So speaking of Creighton and Ohio, the winner of that one will take on Gonzaga, the overall #1 seed, chasing history here in Indianapolis, trying to go undefeated. Last time that was done, Bobby Knight 76-77 team. Incredible 75-76, I should say. The national championship Hoosiers, who ran the table. Free throw from Clark. No good. 22-point UCLA lead. And Clark 1 out of 2. Abilene Christian coming out of the Southland Conference. We're moving to the WAC next year. Yeah, nice finish inside by Tobias Cameron. This team in this program, Jimmy, Abilene Christian, they're having to play their games this past year in a reconfigured tennis center. UCLA at Pauley Pavilion.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the contrasts are wide. Their new facility, or their refurbished facility, Moody, a $45 million renovation. They'll be back in there next year. So this program's looking up. I know you were starting to get into the recruiting and what a run like this in a tournament for such a brand new Division I program can mean.
Well, yeah, you know, commitment to the program by improving the facilities, number one. Two, from a recruiting perspective, you move into the WAC, third 20-win season, playing an NCAA tournament. You're talking about a recruiting pitch now that the coaches use, that alumni use to, you know, the coaches to get, you know, the kind of players they need to continue to grow the program. And like you talked about, Brian, only really 4 years of having the full complement of staff. To be where you're at right now speaks volumes to the people you put in place to operate this program.
Logan McLaughlin misses a three. Good recovery on the other end. Got him a second chance. And Makai Morris, Joe Golding, very tight with Chris Beard of Texas Tech, seeing them exit the tournament yesterday. That was tough for him to watch. His close buddy. Chris Beard even said, he might not be a household name, Joe Golding, but he's going to be. He's a great coach, and he's put in the time at Abilene Christian. And now Mick Cronin wants a timeout. They're hawking defensively, ACU.
Well, when you have pressure, people talk about how do you attack it full head on. But it's not with the dribble, it's with the pass. Now you can spread the defense out, use the aggression against them. And UCLA has been able to do that all afternoon. Look, 11 assists to 20 made field goals. That's precision passing, on time, on target, to be able to spread that defense out and take advantage of it. Keep in mind, only 6 turnovers. 11 times this year, UCLA has had single-digit games under 10 turnovers.
4 turnovers against BYU in their round 1 win. 4 turnovers in 40 minutes. Protected the ball well. This is a team in ACU that forces a lot of turnovers. Getting some offense from Makai Morris here. 17-point game.
Still playing hard. The motor is not being switched off on this ACU team. And UCLA has to continue to maintain their focus and concentration.
Working clock here, Jules Bernard. Got Cameron on him, Bernard rises up, the lefty comes up short. Jaquez, offensive rebound, into the hands of Bernard, kick it, Singleton. And now Bernard will get it organized with 10 on the shot clock. Urgency for ACU, knowing they need a huge run. Ooh, almost a steal. Instead, Jaquez misses a 3. There's Tobias Cameron with a board.
Great scrambling defense that time by the Wildcats.
Inside, ooh, a good pass, and he had a layup.
Yep.
Pleasant trying to make something out of it. Can't finish with a left hand. Oh, he's fouled, and he was able to get a shot on the rim. I think this will be 2 shots here. Joe Pleasant.
Well, as a shooter, you know where the ball is coming off at, and Pleasant able to get that second pop right there over the top.
Yeah, no, it'll be baseline out of bounds, no shot. But a fresh 20 for Abilene Christian. 14 out of their last 15 games. And just a silly turnover right into the hands of Juzang. That's as easy of an interception as you'll have. Turnover number 8 for ACU. Riley looking for shooters. Campbell, that extra pass. There you go, Jim, right on cue. And Tiger Campbell steps into a long 2.
It's infectious, man. Unselfish basketball. Get your teammate open, get him a shot. It eventually comes back around to you. Full display right now by UCLA.
Another finish by Mekhi Morris, who's been their offense. He's got 9 points now, all in this second half. ACU did not have a player score off the bench in that first half. Morris 4 for 7 now. The lead is 17 for UCLA. Patient and Pleasant able to jump the lane. That'll stay UCLA ball. And that takes us to a timeout. 9 on the shot clock. UCLA ball. Mekhi Morris doing his part off the ACU bench. 50-33, UCLA, an 11 seed, making their way from the first 4 to the second round. They lead it by 17 over Abilene Christian. The Dragon Slayers taking down Texas in round 1. 7:59 remaining in this one. Mick Cronin is not messing around. As we went to break, he was hot, and he was giving his team an earful on the way back to the bench.
I'm glad you cleaned that up because you said something else.
Yeah, he did.
No, you did, and how you explained it to what Mick was doing.
Quoting.
You was just quoting. But you know why he's doing it? It's the bigger picture. If you advance to the next game and you're going to play against a better team, and you get a lead and you lose that concentration, that 2 to 3 to 4 minute lapse could cost you that game. That's why he's so upset.
There was 9 on the shot clock after this timeout, and that's going to be a foul. Bernard got clocked in the face, and free throws coming here for UCLA. So Bernard, 2 shots here at the line. Excellent three-point shooter. He was on a roll. He was leading UCLA in points per game last 5 entering this tournament. Hey, a reminder, you can get nonstop March Madness news, picks, and highlights from every game on CBS Sports HQ, the free 24/7 Sports Network. Download the CBS Sports app to watch today. Bernard 1 out of 2 at the line. The lead back to 18 for UCLA. It was a 10-point lead at the half. Daniels to Miller. And Miller with Campbell on him. Puts it into a tough shot. Riley with the rebound.
Did you see the activity on the defensive end that time? Much different than before that timeout. And Mick kind of softly spoke to his teammates and put some kind words in their ears about, let's pick it back up, guys, on defense. That's kind of what he said. Right?
That mask had no chance. I think the mask would be good for him in that situation, but no chance.
No.
Shot clock down to 2. Juzang comes up short. Jaquez the follow. Jaquez is a problem, and he's going to be as long as they keep rolling here. What a terrific player he is. McLaughlin can't hit it. There's Juzang with the rebound. 6.5 to go. That's going to be away from the ball. Jaquez fouled. I think they got Daniels there. UCLA now with 12 second chance points. And actually McLaughlin picks up the foul. Substitutions coming in for Abilene Christian. Joe Golding looking for answers. UCLA has been able to spread the scoring around. Again, here's Mekhi Morris. I'm going to go ahead and let him ride at this point. That's a long 2. Morris with 11 points, all coming in the second half.
Now the senior seizing the moment in regards to his last game, taking advantage of the opportunity to be on the court and play.
Bernard for 3.
Man. Options.
Lots of them.
Like life, brother.
Confidence, too.
You know?
Confidence is an amazing thing. UCLA on their way to their 3rd straight win in this tournament after coming through the first 4. Finally, there's a foul as Reggie Miller goes to the hole. Free throws coming here from Miller. Good find. Yeah, look at the Cronin's here.
Lean into it.
Oh, even got Hep. That Hep
Okay.
is as fired up as you'll ever see him right there.
You know after the game, he's going to have all kind of criticism. Like, you know, that's just what fathers and coaches do. The brother is fired up.
Yeah,
like, who you texting, bro?
Dan's going to the phone here and see
who
if
you texting?
He's going to be on Twitter in a minute.
Put it away.
Midwest guy going to coach at UCLA.
How about that?
That happened before.
Well, yes.
Home of John Wooden.
Well, Steve, yeah.
And Alford.
You know, Wooden started it, Alford. And, you know, it was such a contrast when they hired Mick Cronin after going through some other searches. It seemed like they settled. In Mick's mind, he was like, okay, yeah, you might have settled a little bit in the minds of people, but now he's reshaping the program in a different aspect. Trying to find the tough-minded individuals along with the athleticism and the high IQ. Maybe not to play the exact brand of basketball he played in Cincinnati, because it's hard to duplicate that in the West Coast, but to have that grit and defensive focus. And that's what we're witnessing right now, you know, in the tournament.
As he starts rolling players in, this is just Mick's 2nd year, and you know, it takes a while to build that, and he wants to get there. He's a hardcore defensive-minded coach, and he's got a lot of talent with this UCLA Bruins team. Send it over to Allie LaForce. What do you have, Allie?
You're right, he did have to convince the guys to buy in, and Jules Bernard is the perfect example, because this is a kid who had 3 different coaches in high school, and Mick Cronin was his 3rd coach at UCLA, and he said he trusts us. Coach Cronin said Jules has made a tremendous transformation. He's got a great attitude. He's willing to learn. So it's hard to change your game. This guy was willing to do it, and he's shown he's willing to do it throughout his whole career. The team said Cronin's defensive mindset is so intense and fiery that it builds a fire within them, and they love to compete for him.
Well, follow, can't get the jam. Riley, but he's fouled. Thank you, Allie. You put the defensive pieces together with some firepower on offense, and now you've got the makings of a team that can make a run and bring UCLA back. And that's exactly what Cronin is trying to do, bring this program back to prominence.
Well, the good part is that this group here, 2 years, they laid a foundation for the future.
Hey, don't forget, UCLA trying to put away Abilene Christian here, and then they'll match up with Maryland or Alabama. That is our next game at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, coming up on TNT, and that is going to be some kind of fun. Alabama, one of the best teams in the country. Nate Oates.
Yep.
Mark Turgeon called him the 5th #1 seed.
Right.
And they got a lot of talent. They like to get out and run and play fast, and we're looking forward to that one. Alabama and Maryland coming up on TNT right here from this building. A 10-second violation. Couldn't get it across.
You know, it's interesting about that Alabama team. We were talking about transferring from a mid-major to a, you know, Power 5, and can you get the same kind of players to play you the way you want? And a lot of schools and a lot of coaches have challenges with that, but not in Alabama. I mean, he's taken what he's done in Buffalo and added size and athleticism, more talent, and got those players to play in a very similar fashion, and it's paid off for him.
Morris keeps it rolling here. He's having a second half of an NCAA tournament game to remember. 14 points, all coming in this half. All about these memories that are being made at Abilene Christian, the plains of West Texas. Building this program. Campbell. Tries it with a rebound. Cats want to push it a little bit. And Miller gets stuck. Mason. And that's going to be a foul on Jaquez before the shot. And that'll send us to our last media timeout. 3:48 remaining into the party here for ACU. Oh, you know we couldn't get out of here with a shout to our colleague Reggie Miller right down Michigan Street, a couple of blocks from Bankers Life Fieldhouse, that iconic mural. There's that number 31 hanging in the rafters with all the greats here. This is the home of the Pacers, the house that Reggie helped build, the Hall of Famer Reggie Miller, and ACU's Reggie Miller. And he's heard it all week. He was excited to come here and see all that is Reggie Miller around this arena. And what a terrific career he is finishing off here today. More on that. Let's check in with Allie.
Well, one is 6 foot and the other is 6'6", but they share a name, and the first Reggie Miller was very aware of that. He sent us a text message. He said, "I will always bleed the blue and gold of my beloved UCLA Bruins, but I will admit it's a bit strange seeing another Reggie Miller out there, hard not to root for a guy with that name."
Imagine checking into the hotel with the HCU version of Reggie.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll have a Reggie Miller. I wonder if he knows all of his aliases too. It's been a lot of fun with these guys.
It has been. Pleasure.
Great defender. Getting to know this Abilene Christian team. It's always a team that kind of burst onto the national spotlight this tournament. And Oral Roberts and ACU have been those teams this year. Nice finish inside for Riley. Mason can't hit it. Give Mason a lot of credit too. He's been playing with a broken nose throughout this tournament.
No way Mason was going to let that stop him from competing in this year's tournament.
They got a mask for him. Went down to Bloomington to get a mask, and he wore it for about 30 seconds, I think, and then threw it out in round one. Juzang, three-pointer from Juzang.
Hey, listen, UCLA, we were talking about kind of the urban flight of Midwest people going to UCLA and really helping out the program. You know, John Wooden and Nick Cronin. How about my boy Martin Jarman, who's the AD right now at UCLA, formerly at The Ohio State University, then went to Boston College for his first AD job, and then at UCLA to have some big things going on. So happy and proud of that young man under the tutelage when he was at Ohio State.
This will be an offensive foul. Yeah, Martin Jarman, man, what a job he's now taken over in the middle of a pandemic. He's, still trying to get to know everybody. A lot of Zoom calls, and his programs have done a great job. He was highly sought after.
Gene Smith had a lot of great things to say about him, and kind of learned and got his feet wet under Gene Smith at Ohio State.
All smiles for the Bruins here in round two as an 11 seed, ready to advance to the Sweet 16 in a matchup with either Alabama or Maryland. Indianapolis has not been a great spot for UCLA in recent years. Bruins fans will remember a couple of national championship games lost in this city. Lost in 1980 to Louisville in Indianapolis, and then 06 that Ben Howland team lost to Florida at the RCA Dome. Hey, BR Kicks is the home to all things sneakers and fashion, from Kicks Cam to Fit Watch to unboxings and more. BR Kicks has you covered at BR Kicks. We're all over sneakerheads. Follow BR Kicks. What do you got on today, Jimmy?
Hold up, back up. Huh? We've been here praising UCLA this whole time about all the adjustments that they've been doing.
Yep.
And then you come back with that stat about Indianapolis has not been good to them.
Yeah, but that's my Mick Cronin piece, is how can score. What I like to do, just like Mick Cronin, you got to know when to build up and when to tear down. And I thought maybe that was a good time for that. That's cold and cold.
That's cold-blooded, man. That is cold. Hey,
You're saying that's not it?
Mick, it wasn't me, bro. It wasn't, you know I got you. It wasn't me.
Well, like he said yesterday.
What?
He told us, arrogance will get you beat, Jimmy.
So you just reminded him of what could happen.
Just saying.
He wants to break the curse.
There's some wounds here in Indianapolis for Bruins fans. Some wounds. They can exercise.
You didn't have to reopen those wounds, though. You really didn't.
And
get them in the
whistle.
game.
Yeah, get them in the game. This is great opportunity for some of these kids who have been on the practice squad. Jamison Richardson, on his way in. Logan McLaughlin, incredible story. Paul Hippler's going to get some time. He's been chief cheerleader on that bench. This is an amazing team right here. This is going to go down as an all-timer in ACU history. They'll be talking about this team forever.
Just think about when the program really takes off and they can start to really have the sustained success. And then they'll all retract it back to these group of young men who really laid the foundation for it.
See Peyton Brooks on the floor as well. As we approach the 30-second mark.
Get a shot up. Get it up. Yeah. Come on. There it is.
That's what I like.
Yep.
Take it. On the ground goes Richardson. Scrapping.
The officials wouldn't call it. The officials wouldn't call it a jump ball on that. Keep the clock rolling.
Kenneth Nuba getting some time here for UCLA. They've got some guys coming off their bench as well.
Look at that huddle right there.
Tight. They're moving on. The Bruins. Yep. And going to become the 5th team to go from the first 4 to the Sweet 16. Kenneth Nuba. Mick Cronin's going to be on his way to the Sweet 16 for the 2nd time. Went there with Cincinnati in 2012. Count that basket.
You realize this, that Mick, one of 5 coaches, been to the tournament since 2011, man.
10 straight years.
Well, I mean,
there were some big names too.
Yeah, Mark Few, Roy Williams, Tom Izzo, Bill Self.
Great respect between those two, Mick Cronin and Joe Golding. And UCLA advancing to the Sweet 16. And the Bruins still dancing here in Indianapolis. Into the line for Abilene Christian. Nothing to hang your heads. A remarkable story. The kind they make movies out of. Starting this program as a D1 school 8 years ago. Got a win, beat Texas. But it stops here in the round of 32. It'll be the Bruins and either Maryland or Alabama, which is our game next. Sliding over to TNT. That is going to be some fun. 20-point win for UCLA. Still alive in Indiana. Don't forget, tune into TNT and CBS right now for live 2nd round games coming up on TBS. Colorado and Florida State will send you to our studio for Capital One Tournament Central after these messages. The Bruins dancing up a storm here in the Hoosier State. They're moving on to the Sweet 16.